Oh boy. Here we go. Hello, Internet. Welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast, episode 256. Now, we're recording on the 30th and posting this on March 30th because we had to make sure a certain MMO bomb panelist was on today's show. And I mean, you heard me during the intro. I couldn't even wait for the music. First, let's go to Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
You know, I was just going to give the little factoid that this is going to be the last time we do a show that's got a number that's a power of 2 for another 5 years, which I thought was cool.
Oh.
But it's not nearly as cool as what else you're going to show in just a moment here.
Also on the line, maybe a bit rambunctious today, given some topics. Mr. Troy Blackburn, how are you, sir?
I'm in a celebratory mood. I don't know about you guys, but it's a party today. It's a special day. Woo! Confetti. I'm so sad these don't make noise. I paid a good $1.17 for a pack of these. And they don't even go woo when you blow them.
You are just going to
Get
be...
the actual horns or something.
You
like
are just going to be
right.
absolutely unbearable today, aren't you?
Confetti. Party hats. I'm sorry. Is the yellow hat a bit much? Is it a bit much?
No, it's perfect.
No,
It's
perfect.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I got a green one.
Oh.
We can, if the yellow's just too much, if it's over the top, we can go green.
How much did those cost you?
Those were at least $1.97.
Oh, wow. Dang, you're really spending on it.
We spared no expense on this show. No expense.
This is an expensive show for me.
We're a lot like InGen in that respect, in Jurassic Park. But let's slide over and just get this over with. So this will be the last time we talk about this game, at least for a while. I don't think anybody on this panel thinks that this will be the last time we talk about this game forever. It's just going to be the last time we talk about it for a while, and Troy is a bit celebratory, as you've noticed, because of it. And if you don't know, what we're talking about is Bless Online not going free to play. At least at launch, they have now decided buy to play is where it's at, and we'll talk about their reasons and some thoughts in a moment. But let's go with the big decision first. Jason, they dropped free to play, decided on buy to play. What were your initial thoughts, reasons aside, just thoughts on that model?
Initial thoughts was I'm really not that surprised for as long as they were taking to do this and to talk about it. I think we estimated that there was a pretty good chance it would do this. So, yeah, I mean, I really just not that surprised, especially seeing how well something like Black Desert Online has done so far here in the West, which is another game that we thought was going to be free to play. Turned out being buy to play, even though it's only like $10.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's practically free to play now. You can get it for less than Troy's party favors.
Yeah, so it's really not that surprising to me. I'm actually trying to see if they have the founder packs up yet.
Nope, I checked this morning.
Nope, still don't. Okay. So it's buy to play, but we're not telling you how much it is yet. So okay, whatever, guys. But yeah, somehow I wouldn't have expected anything less professional after so long.
Troy, who has changed colored hats again.
Hey, if the green hat was too much for you, I got red.
Your initial thoughts on buy to play?
God, I hope this is $60. Oh, please be 40, 50, 60 bucks. Please, please, please. I need something else to talk about. I wouldn't mind talking about this game again if that price tag is redonkulous. But yeah, so see ya in 6 months when we talk about it going back free to play, unfortunately. My party is going to be short-lived.
Yeah,
they're going to take my party
again.
away.
Save the hats, man. You'll need them again.
Well, and that's kind of... I'd like to say that Troy is being annoying about it, but he's kind of exactly where I was when I saw
Tell me I'm wrong.
when I saw the announcement. Jason, I kind of thought at first the same thing as you. Well, all right, I'm a little surprised, but given Black Desert Online and that going fairly well here in the West, and as far as sales go, okay, I can kind of see why they might have leaned toward a buy-to-play model. But then the other part that stops me from saying, okay, yeah, fine, I get it, makes sense, is this game followed a bit of a different trajectory, to be fair, when you compare it to something like Black Desert Online, which is a very natural comparison to make. This is already released in Russia and got shut down. This is already released in Korea and got shut down. Both of those were exclusively free-to-play models, so they had already released in a free-to-play state. They said, okay, we're going to make a bunch of changes. They had the Western publisher, then they didn't have the Western publisher because they backed off after the other versions of the game. And I see a lot of people commenting, they've made a ton of changes and you don't know anything about these, Mr. or Mrs. whoever's writing this article saying that this is a stupid decision. Yeah, you're right. But that kind of bolsters the point on maybe you shouldn't be putting a price tag on changes that nobody actually realizes what those changes are yet. I mean, this has like all the earmarks of what WildStar and other games have done wrong, all slammed into one thing for me. It's an unknown IP. Automatically, you probably want to be leaning a little more towards free-to-play. By the way, you launched as free-to-play in a couple regions of the world. It didn't go so well. By the way, you've lost publishers. By the way, you're totally revamping the game, so even people that played the original may not know what to expect. You can't even bank on Jason played the original and really liked it, so there's $60 from Jason almost guaranteed in the bank. He may not like the changes you've made. There's just so many things wrong with this decision. I think it's a terrible choice for this game. For this particular game, Jason. Am I crazy?
But like you said, now, okay, Jason liked the old version, so now you got $60 in the bank from him and he hates the new version. That's the point. Then I think they know that if they made it free to play, and I, being an old player or whatever, logged in, didn't like it, I'd be gone after 5 hours. But now they're like, well, if you want to try it out, it's going to cost you 30, 40, 60, whatever. So, yeah, this really screams short-term cash grab more than just about anything else I've heard out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Troy, because that's immediately the sense I got. Jesus, you're trying to fleece the Western audience here, whether that's Europe or the United States, that whole Western demographic that you've never launched to. This is different than, remember when Call of Duty went free in China and we were like, does that piss other people off who have to pay for that game? That was years ago, but we understood that it was a market that they weren't in, that they couldn't really get in the way that they wanted to, so they're trying this, and maybe this seems like, hey, the Westerners haven't played this yet. They're stupid excited about it. We don't even know why anymore because it's been so long.
It's been 6 years.
Let's get $30, $40, $50 out of each of them to initially get in, and then in a couple of months, we'll just go free to play anyway, Troy. It's hard not to feel like that with this particular move.
Yeah, that's absolutely what they're doing. They're trying to grab some cash up front. Just take a look at the MMO Bomb comments over the past few months. There are folks who are still excited to play this game and would throw money at it immediately. Sight unseen for the most part. Like you said, what we're going to get is not necessarily what we've been able to see bits and pieces of from Korea and Russia. So, yeah, I mean, there are people who are going to throw money at it, and unfortunately, they're going to take full advantage of that and grab your money early while they can. I guess those are going to be the next best thing to Founders Packs. Might as well just call them Founders Packs, because this son of a gun is going free to play sooner rather than later, and they're going to try to get a sort of player base involved as well after they get their money.
We have to combine this with other news, though, that we already talked about, Jason. When we talk about it's probably going to go free to play pretty quickly. Remember, we heard about a 6-month early access period, no wipe at the end, which initially caused our speculation on, I don't see this, how do you put a buy-to-play thing on early access? And that's kind of freaky, but so you have now locked in all this information. It's going to be buy-to-play. We're looking at May as far as a rough time estimate of when early access will begin. They've already said early access is going to be about, if not longer than 6 months with no wipe at the end. That means Bless Online is not free to play anytime in 2018, looking at that type of timeline. That's a pretty big timeline.
I mean, there's not really early access. It's just launch. I mean, let's be honest. You're paying for it. You're getting in. There's no wipe. It's a launch. It launches in May.
Yeah.
So,
So let's talk a little bit about the reasons they publicly said they were doing this. And
yes,
please,
because I've been trying to avoid this until you brought it up.
yeah, because this is the best. And keep in mind, everybody that watches this show knows that I am somebody that says everybody loves a free-to-play game until they find the one they like. Then they wish they paid for it or they wish it had a sub. And I am the embodiment of that. I want to play Bless Online, check it out, and if I enjoyed it, I would want it to be buy-to-play. So I, as a consumer, don't personally look at buy-to-play and go, screw it, I ain't playing it. I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to play it. One, it's the nature of my job, what I do here. And two, I just enjoy that genre. And even if I don't stick with it, I want to check the game out so that I can speak intelligently about it. So I'm not saying it's the dumbest decision in the world to go buy-to-play. I'm just saying this game is probably not the one that should have done it, given its history. So why'd they do it? Well, according to Susie Ford,
This is the best thing ever.
according to Susie Ford over at MMORPG, our friends over there, they did an interview with the team and they asked, why'd you do this? Why'd you decide to go buy-to-play? And we have the usual kind of smattering of stuff on this is what our fans wanted, this was the feedback we got, and I'm not surprised by any of that. Okay, fine. Bots, of course, is always a big one when a game decides to put a price tag on it. Bots automatically become one of the reasons they did it. Okay.
Because those don't exist at all in
right.
paid games.
Yeah.
Here's their reply to MMORPG. First, buy-to-play would create a pleasant gaming environment by preventing bots from flooding the servers and disturbing the players. Okay. Instead of 6,000, you have 4,800 of them. Whatever. Second, we decided against free-to-play to prevent us, the developers, from being tempted into pay-to-win. And, of course, we also looked at our community's opinions and requests. Just like that little afterthought. Oh, yeah,
by the way, we kind of
yeah.
care about you guys,
Yeah,
too.
we did talk to the players, too. And let's not talk about something else that will still be in the game. And let's avoid that for just a moment. And just look at the statement, Jason. Second, we decided against free-to-play to prevent us, the developers, from being tempted into pay-to-win. I can't tell if that is, like, remarkably insightful on there, or just an absolute condemnation of the genre anymore and developers as a whole. What the hell?
It's at least a condemnation of their developers.
Right?
Sorry. We couldn't possibly make this game free to play without our guys being tempted into pay to win, tempted like cake. Like they can't avoid cake sitting on the sides. We're not gonna have any cake in the office.
Troy, this is just a staggering statement.
I love being right. I love being right. Yeah, they can't even control themselves. They even say it out loud to an interview. They know where this is going. They know the Western audience is going to see this, but they're going to admit flat out they cannot control themselves from becoming pay to win. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get a great game.
Here's the thing, I was thinking, other situations where that statement applies, right? And do I consider it a very insightful, good move on that person's part, or do I consider it stupid? And, the only example I could come up with, and this is, my father for years and years, when I was very young, was a drinker, okay? And when he stopped drinking, when he would purposely plan parties and stuff like that, his logic was, I'm not going to have a bar be there because I would be tempted to indulge, because he had an issue with that. And you would look at that decision on my father's and say, that's a wise decision, right? That's a wise decision on his part. It's very insightful. He recognizes it. But we're talking about a company that says, hey, we don't trust ourselves to not try and jump into your wallet. So we're just going to remove the temptation to do that. It's not as insightful when you look at it. It's not a smart move insightful when you look at it from that standpoint. It's staggering. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a cash shop. Wait, what?
Well, that doesn't tempt people into pay to win ever. No, never.
By the way, in before there's gear in the game, but it's not the best gear, so it's not pay to win.
Well, so here's the thing. Where does a pay-to-win aspect of a game, 99% of the time, come from, gents? The cash shop. And so we're going to make this buy to play because we don't want to tempt ourselves into a pay to win situation, or out of necessity because it's not making any money. But we're still going to put in a cash shop. And now, of course, it's going to be cosmetic. Yeah, that's not the point. The point is the cash shop is the item where you implement the pay-to-win stuff if you want to, not the box price.
And you just got done admitting that you can't control yourself
Right.
and will be tempted to include pay-to-win.
So what is the kill of the temptation here? Is it, hey, we'd really like to put it in the cash shop, but we charged $30, $40, $50 for this box, so we really can't? I mean, Jason, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like that's the only point I can maybe give them a little bit of ground on. The notion that, okay, it's going to be $50 for a box. We're going to sell, 1 million copies. We're going to bring in $50 million. Now we don't need to put pay-to-win stuff in the cash shop, except that someone's going to come along and say, hey, great, we made $50 million. How can we make $60 million? Oh, I know. Put $10 million worth of pay-to-win stuff on the cash shop or whatever. So, yeah, it's just like it's never enough money. To put it another way, you never make enough money. You can always make more.
It's so
How are you going to do
bizarre.
it? Maybe through the cash shop.
Like, Troy, if they would have said, hey, you know what? We don't want to be tempted to do pay to win, and we don't want to put ourselves in a financial position where we feel like we have to implement pay to win and stuff so that we can start making some money. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a box price on it. We're going to get our money up front, one-time sale, no cash shop. We're going to go old school with this. I think then at that point you're either upset that it has a box price when you wanted it to be free to play, or you think it's a great decision. But adding the cash shop just kind of negates the number one reason that you said you were putting a box price on there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
whether or not that cash shop's cosmetic or not, that is the impetus. That is the window to allow pay to win, not the box price.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we need to reiterate, we're not saying buy to play with a cash shop is bad. It can be fine. There are games that do that well, and there's needs to monetize after that box price. The reason we're giving them so much crap right now is because their justification for going buy to play and then saying, oh, by the way, yes, there will be a cash shop, after sort of avoiding that because they might be tempted to do pay to win. I just want to make that clear for the audience. Oh, look at all these buy to play games that have cash shops. That's not what we're saying. These guys have literally admitted out loud they cannot control themselves with a cash shop. And by the way, there will be a cash shop after we take some of your money as well. I mean, do we not think
and there will still be a cash shop when we go free to play, because that's definitely fucking happening. I mean, there's no way in hell this doesn't go free to play at some point.
It's going to go free to play, and there's going to be pay to win in it right before it dies. Get ready for it.
Like I made this article just so in 6 months or 9 months or whatever, I can refer back to it when they go free to play and say, well, this is what they're going to do. They're going to be tempted to pay to win. Just like we keep doing Lawbreakers articles with Cliffy B coming out and saying, oh, if we're free to play, we have to segregate our people and sell maps or whatever. And we don't know how. Yeah, okay, when you go free to play, I'm going to look back at all the stuff you said you had to do when you go free to play and see how that goes.
And Jason, I think you summed it up in the article exactly the same thought Troy was just expressing. Now, before I get eviscerated in the comments for claiming that Bless is or will be pay to win, I'm not making that claim, nor do I think Bless shouldn't have a cash shop. It's just hard to reconcile the notion that the developers were so concerned about being pay to win that it was a major factor in determining their business model, while also putting in something that will greatly tempt them into making the game pay to win. It's almost as if the part about being tempted into pay to win isn't really about the players and is just more PR marketing talk to justify their decision and try and sell copies of the game. And I can certainly see that. Hey, if we say this, people really be like, oh, yeah, man, they're committed to not putting... It made it look like the opposite to me. Like, they're so gung-ho about pay to win, they had to tie their own hands to do it.
It's like Elder Scrolls Online was the same way. When their lead developer came out and said, we have to have a sub. This game will not work without a subscription. It must have one. We can't get by without it. A year later, they got rid of the sub. So it's like, it's the same thing. They're just marketing it to try and force you into thinking, hey, we have no other way to do this. We can't possibly do it otherwise, or it'll be terrible or whatever. You have to buy. You have to spend money on it. It's like, oh, no, you don't, because you could do different. You just don't want to. So
There's also, Troy, what I've found staggering in some of the comments, and there's the usual, detractors and promoters of this type of decision. And honestly, at the end of the day, for me, I really don't care. It's a bit surprising to me, just given the history of the game and marketing-wise. I think it's kind of a bad move for this particular game, but overall, whatever. There's other commenters, though, that just I can't. Here's one, Troy. It's a real shame people hype everything up these days, plus people start making things up, saying this game will be free to play, when the developer hasn't said anything about their business model yet. Nobody made that up! They were free to play in multiple regions of the world already. Nobody made that up.
I've been singing about the hype train being too strong on this one for a long time now. So welcome aboard, choo choo.
I mean, it better be a good game at this point, right?
Oh yeah, like this thing better.
You have to be a good game at this point. I think this puts
is the
more
last
pressure on
area
them,
they
doesn't
have
it?
left who actually has some sort of excitement for this game. Where else in the world have they not already failed? There's a level of excitement here that's completely unjustified, and a market that they're obviously going to take advantage of by grabbing the money for the ones who are going to play it no matter what it costs. I'm going to play this game because it's going to be great. So, once it fails here, man, at least it'll be done.
And it may be. I'm not Troy. It may be a great game, or at least a strong performer in the genre. I'm not Troy Blackburn on this thing's doomed from the gate, Jason. But this definitely puts a little more pressure on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It makes you feel like you said, if it doesn't succeed here, it ain't going to succeed anywhere.
If you can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, NeoWiz. Oh, God. I mean, I can't wait. Like, I've been looking for the Founders Packs now. They're going to get my money, although they already were in some fashion anyway, because I love MMOs, and particularly MMORPGs in general. But, Troy, I gotta say, disappointed that at least for the foreseeable future, there will not be a dual first look.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit sad about that myself, just a little bit. But I am not giving this game any money.
So, that was going to be my next question.
Money.
Who will buy in some way? I absolutely will.
$5. I don't care if it's $2.50. I ain't giving them nothing.
Jason?
God, no.
So it's all going to be down to me.
Yeah, it's all you, man.
I'm gonna tweet to Troy for hours on end as I'm playing. My God, they have chat functions. Oh my God, guilds! Holy shit! At Noob Fridge, Bless Online has guilds. Everything.
It's 90% translated. That's amazing.
It's certainly going to be interesting. I can't wait to check it out because I've got this kind of mentality on, hey, if it's a good game, great, I'll enjoy it. If it's a train wreck, I'm going to enjoy the train wreck just as much.
But I'll enjoy the train wreck a lot more if it's free.
Yes.
I would not enjoy the train wreck as much if I spent $60 on it.
This one did surprise me. It did surprise me. Black Desert Online, I kind of went, all right, good luck, guys. You're an unknown IP. I wish you well, but we'll see what happens. This one, you already failed in multiple regions on your gameplay as a free-to-play title. Is this really the way you want to go? And it felt a little fleecy to me. All right, let's move on to some maybe good PR, bad PR. I don't know. It depends on how you feel about this one. So Epic Games, they do that what's that game, Jason?
Front Nerd or something.
Yes,
yeah.
That game. It's the pew game. The gotta shoot the things game.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, Fortnite Battle Royale. So you may remember that they shut down Paragon kind of out of nowhere, which has led to all of us asking what's going on with the PvE Fortnite. Who knows? We'll have to watch that one play out.
Thanks for the money, homies.
It's a lot. Jason and I were talking about
At least
this
they
before
plan
the show.
on that one going free to play. At least that's the plan for that.
That was the plan. Yeah, Jason and I were talking about before the show. Honestly, I think if I was Epic Games, the PvE version is just gone as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we're not talking about I have two games, Troy, and one does really well and one is just kind of mediocre. We're talking about one that makes hundreds of millions of dollars a month. A month.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. All right, I'm gonna piss.
They should have just killed that when they killed Paragon, to be honest, and just rip all the band-aids off at one time.
We'll have to see
while they can still afford to give full refunds to everybody.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're gonna have to compensate the people that bought it in some way. But what they did with Paragon, maybe it's not too far-fetched. Speaking of Paragon, though, something really, really weird happened with it. Now, we talked, Jason, on the show before about potential people buying the IP and a crowdfunding thing to try and keep servers up, even if there were not going to be any updates. And we all kind of said, while all those things are nice, that's never going to happen. But I don't think any of us actually anticipated what did happen.
Yeah, so Epic Games is actually going to make all the assets from Paragon available, just basically for free to anyone using Unreal Engine 4. So you can take the characters, you can take the emotes and environmental objects, all the different stuff, voice lines, everything they use in there. If you're making your own game on UE4, go right ahead and just grab them, take them, use them, do whatever you want with them.
Kind of crazy like a fox, isn't it, Troy?
See, I don't think it is. I think this is only creating two things. The first one is Paragon porn, and the second one is a subreddit that has turned into nothing except, when the next person remakes this game, when somebody not I would love to win, somebody's going to remake this game. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Good luck with that. Look at all the other games that have died, and then the community comes back and somebody will grab it up, somebody will remake it, somebody will redo it, and it just never happens. It just the closest thing we've got to anything that's even remotely being a remake of a game is Ship of Heroes, and even that is like way, way, way off from being a playable game that we can all get our hands on. So I thought it was a bad. It sounded like a good move at first. Here's your assets. You can still, do whatever you want to with the characters you loved. At the end of the day, like I said, it's only done two things. It's created porn, and it's made a subreddit where everybody thinks the game's coming back in some form. Some little small group of 1, 2, 3 guys are not going to remake this game, guys. They're not going to be able to take these assets and make a functional game out of it in the next 5 to 10 years at least. So I'm sorry to break your hearts, but unfortunately that's where we're at right now. The reality of it is it sounds amazing, but there's non-deserving hype out there now that this is going to be reborn, and it's just not going to happen.
Jason, this was like the absolute death knell for anything official, right? I mean,
yeah.
The company gave away $12 million in assets.
Right.
Clearly, they're not interested in keeping a maintenance mode server up, no matter how many signatures a petition gets at this point. This was the official, guys, it's not even ours anymore. Please leave us alone, from Epic Games.
I mean, the only thing I could maybe see is the notion that they want to keep these things out in the public domain and basically make it so people still see the characters and still experience them in some way. So maybe down the line they do something like, I don't know, some other kind of game that maybe uses them to some degree. And so
but here's the thing, though. Like, I could see wanting to use the ships or the environments and stuff. I would, as a game developer, whether I had something established right now or I was working on something on Unreal 4, I wouldn't use any of these characters. They're from a failed game nobody knows.
Sure, I'm talking more for like I guess you have to probably shell out real money for UE4. It's not going to be some sort of fan-made thing so much, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, like in your article, you mentioned somebody like a PlayerUnknown Battleground. That's a game that's on UE4. Right. They could certainly use these things as freebie prize skins and stuff like that, I guess, if they wanted to. Although, wouldn't that really be ironic? So Epic Games makes Fortnite, which PUBG initially gets pissed about, but now apparently loves. That's another turnabout in the last couple of weeks here. We're going to sue you for making a battle royale. Oh, by the way, we're really happy to have more battle royales in the game space right now. But then they turn around and put Paragon skins on characters in PUBG. That's pretty funny, actually.
That would be a neat way to do it, yeah.
Oh boy. So Troy, you think bad idea PR wise? I'm kind of in the while that's interesting. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a good or a bad idea. It's just, hey, that's interesting. Nobody's ever done that before, but nobody's gonna do anything with it besides piecemeal some of the assets in. Oh my God! Although this did put some pretty high caliber assets on the board for asset flippers, didn't it?
Those are always such fantastic games,
right? Jason, where do you sit on this one?
I sort of agree with you. I think it's not. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I think it's a mostly meaningless idea. It's meant to generate a little good PR, I guess, but yeah, we'll have forgotten about it in 6 months or so.
Yeah, but you should have stopped with your good PR with full refunds. We all gave you a huge thumbs up for all of time refunds. Finally, before we go over to the bombs today, I'm going to turn this one over to Troy. Troy's done a couple first looks, got another one coming soon on some robots. But the two that are done now, you got that message, right, Troy? The Robo...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Speaking of Battle Royale, so look for that one soon. You did Crusaders of Light and Spellsworn. Now, we generally don't cover things like Crusaders of Light, a mobile port that comes to PC. We cover it news-wise, but generally we don't do first looks for those types of games. We decided to do one just because this was a really high-profile mobile one that was generally positively received on the mobile stores. But it didn't go so well as far as the content on the PC version, did it, Troy?
No, and that, like, my first look was the PC version, and that's all I was looking at was the PC version, where MMO Bomb we do free-to-play PC games. This thing was not good on PC. I get it. It's popular on mobile. Trust me, the comments on YouTube, all the thumbs down on YouTube, let me know that it's popular on mobile. That does not make it good on PC. This was not good on PC. It was a straight port. There were very few things done to make it work on PC, and even most of those didn't work well on PC. The controls were bad. You have to take control back from the game at all times. Every time you take a new quest, you can't, like, choose to let the game play itself for you. You have to take control back from the game so it will stop playing the game for you. It was bad. I said bad things about a bad game, and people went irate on YouTube. Go check it out over on mmobomb.com's YouTube channel. You can see for yourself.
So this is a game, Jason, you'll be playing, right?
Oh dear God! like remember the very first look I did was for Total War Battles Kingdom, which was a mobile port of a Total War based game that came over to PC.
Right.
And I'm just thinking now to myself, having looked at this, I'm like, you can go the other direction. PC games to mobile, because right now, actually, Fortnite is on mobile, and we wrote about that too.
Doing stupid well on there too.
Yeah, exploding extremely well. A few other games have done that sort of thing. You can go in that direction. You just can't go the other way, though. Mobile games coming to PC. Can you tell me when it's ever worked?
Board game.
I mean,
that's about it.
I was about to say, really simple stuff like board games or like Bejeweled type stuff. Sure, okay,
Plants
you can get
vs.
some
Zombies mobile first.
Yeah, I guess
I don't remember off the top
too.
of my head.
Like I said, the sort of simple stuff where you only really have to click on a little thing here and there. Anything more complex than that, anything like an RPG or an RTS, it just ain't gonna work, pal. Just stop doing it.
Was Spellsworn any better for you, Troy?
Spellsworn was better, actually. Spellsworn was a ton of fun. And I say in the first look for this one, when you watch the video, I'm the first to admit, it's not very fun to watch. It's never going to be an e-sport because it's not exciting at all to watch. But you can get a map full of like 10 buddies and just go in there and sling spells. It reminds me most of all of Magicka, the game, if you remember from back in the day, where you can really you spend more time trolling your friends than you do actually playing the game. But this is just straight PvP arena. The map shrinks in. You're trying to hit everybody with abilities and sling them off the map into the lava or the poison and kill and be the last one standing and get the high score at the end of 5 rounds. It was a ton of fun playing with friends and even jumping in with some randos. As long as the map was full, it's super intense, and it takes away from the slowness. Like if you're just dueling somebody 1v1, it's really slow and it's really boring to watch. But you just fill that map up with people, especially if you're in voice chat with them and just with people and just play. Dude, it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Especially.
I kind of got the Magicka vibe and thought Jason might like this one a little more than some recent things. I also definitely, I mean, there's no way to avoid it. It is heavily inspired by the old Warcraft 3 mod, Warlocks. I mean, if you love that mod, you will probably really, really enjoy Spellsworn, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but yeah, as I watched it, I was like, I think I need to turn up the video to double speed to make it actually look good because yeah, it was pretty slow.
It suffers from Paragon-itis. The game just moves very
Well,
slowly.
that didn't take 45 minutes, did it, Troy?
Oh God, man.
Well, all right, so 50-50. Skip Crusaders of Light. If you like Warlocks or Magicka, Wizard Wars, then Spellsworn might be worth a checking out for you. Let's move over and slide over to the weekly bombs. I'm going to go first. I had a vacation last week from everything, like day job, MMO bomb, everything, and I spent the entire thing in bed. Literally, not even being, you know, metaphorical there in any way. Sick as a dog. Now, my poor co-host here, I apologize. You watching the show can't hear it because I've been muting myself when I hack up a lung real quick, but I apologize to my two co-hosts who still can hear it, even though I'm muting it on the recording. So, an A-bomb to a really shitty vacation. I have to take another one soon. Go ahead, Jason.
Honestly, I haven't heard you. I haven't heard you hacking up your lungs, so you must
awesome.
be... I'm not as loud as you think. You're recovering. Very good.
Very good. Very good. I feel like there's a squirrel in my throat, so I think I'm recovering.
Should have that looked at.
Is it Ebola? It's Ebola. Isn't
It's
it?
probably Ebola. Go ahead, Jason.
If you die, can I have your WildStar accounts?
No. No.
I didn't want to.
Have your Fantasy Star Online 2 account?
Oh my God, I hate you. You know, I haven't played that in a couple of months. I think I might play that tonight. Although I did get Ni no Kuni 2, so I haven't had a chance to crack that open yet either. So maybe PSO2 is going to have to wait. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm going to give a double out to, yay, new baseball season. Yeah. And we actually, because we didn't have the cast yesterday, I was able to watch the game yesterday. I was able to watch my Twins play.
How'd they do?
So they lost in extra innings, but whatever. And a dub bomb to also, because I have to I'll give it out yearly to Out of the Park Baseball 19, which is the new version of the big baseball sim game that I like to play. I'm currently in the year 2022. The future looks great, man. We got flying cars and everything, but my team is kind of crappy. We can't pitch very well. The bullpen is terrible. So
yeah, see, baseball as a young kid loved it, but that was, you know, during the Pirates era of Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, you know, Sid Bream, all those fun people. And as an adult, Pittsburgh Pirates baseball. You know, what are you gonna say?
But the thing is, with Out of the Park Baseball 19, you could play any historical seasons. You could start playing the Pirates in like 1988. And just keep playing them through and see how well you do. See if you can actually beat the Braves. See if you can actually throw out that slow guy when the NLCS that one year when he scored the run and you guys lost and didn't go to the World Series.
Yeah, well, you know, the losses happen more than the wins. So, go ahead, Troy, your bomb.
I'm gonna give a dub bomb to Bless Online for taking itself off of our site and out of our thoughts for at least a little while. Thank you so much. I was running out of ways to bury your game. Now apparently you're just going to do it for me, so I appreciate that. Make my life easy. I want to give another dub bomb to Paladins. OB68 continue to do things right. And a bomb to Smite. It's March 30th. 2018. In the year 2018, we still have not had a non-exclusive skin released in Smite. The fuck, Harris?
I just want to know if Bless comes out and is actually mediocre to good. Will you be on the cast like with a mea culpa?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, fair enough.
If you're going to have an opinion as strong as mine, you've got to be willing to accept it if you're wrong, and I will absolutely be here if I'm wrong.
All right. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that, but...
to a continuing celebration as the months go by about how overrated this game is and how it's not going to succeed.
I see now, Jason, I really got to like whittle down a very low bar definition of mediocre just to force an apology out of Troy. From the viewers, Elusive X Treasure says, "Debomb to my dysfunctional party in the D&D campaign I just started. We're 2 sessions in, and this session, the thief turned the town into a bunch of raving lunatics and undead by spending coins he knew to be cursed. The healer outed the good lich in the party by the last surviving member of the clergy. Then the healer rolled a 1, shooting his bow, and shot the thief in the shoulder, whereupon the thief tries to kill the healer. At this point, my mage leans over to the lich and asks if we really need these idiots. Then the Lich tries to smooth things over, offers to pay the thief not to kill the healer. He's paid up for 6 days. The magical well they need water from to purify the town is over a week away. The next session should be fun.
That sounds amazing.
There are so many things wrong with all that. And so many things right.
Go ahead, Jason.
Korokon says A-bomb, I mean da-bomb. No, I mean A-bomb to me for getting my bombs the wrong way around last time. I began creating a wallpaper for my PC to ensure I never got it wrong again, but it turned into, well, this. And okay. What in the world?
This is amazing. This is the free-to-play cast essential guide to bomb cynicism and the history of mounting.
I love the A-bomb.
So, da-bomb equals good, as in dropped a huge content patch and it's amazing. A-bomb equals bad. Lawbreakers, am I right? They also have finally first comment, XD first, covered over with mounted. That's a long time MMO bomb thing. Intermittent fasting, this new young craze Jason Winter is exploring, which is a great reference to somebody's bomb a few weeks ago, or a month or so ago, talking about intermittent fasting. You remember that, Jason, right?
I do?
Oh my god, that was fantastic! When the dude gave it an A-bomb or a da-bomb or an A-bomb for being hungry because they were doing intermittent fasting, and you were like, "Just eat something, man."
That's right. Okay.
You were like, "Just get something to eat." We also have Bless Online peeking in the corner here, and it says Troy Blackburn tells us why this MMO is the most unique thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So great little.
Give that whole thing a da-bomb. But anyway.
Absolutely.
Continuing his, it says, da-bomb to Final Fantasy XIV. I know it's not free to play, but I've recently returned to start fresh as a healer on a new server, and I'm loving it. The homey vibe and aesthetics win me over every time.
Obviously, I'm a bit biased when it comes to the Final Fantasy XIV, but I will say an example of a game that pulls off a box price, a sub, and a cash shop, and manages not to piss any of us off. Just saying. You know, just pointing it out. Go ahead, Troy.
Still going back to that time, like 6 years ago, where they said, we can't do free-to-play because we don't understand it.
You know what? I would take we don't understand it versus we don't trust ourselves.
Right.
Go ahead, Troy.
And to be fair to Korokon, getting bombs mixed up has been my nightmare since I started this cast. And I am shocked and amazed I haven't screwed that up, at least at one point, going in this far. So, Hadrick Sky Shadow, the bomb to the new Guild Wars 2 Season 4 living story. I love the Char race. It's my all-time favorite. And the story is all centered around them. I mean, I can say more, but I don't need to. The story and the world of this game gets better with every single story they tell. Amen. Amen.
Char the best.
Char are the best.
Don't they sit down too in this update, don't they?
Yeah, everybody can sit in chairs.
Everybody can sit in chairs. Squeezy says
2018, ladies and gentlemen.
20s in the free-to-play cast. I'm not sure what you mean. If you're referring to somebody in their 20s, apply to be on the show.
Me. That ain't me.
Apply to be on the show. An A-bomb to Magic Man's hair. What the fuck did my hair do to you? A-bomb to my hair. All right, Squeezy, it's going to be that way. People that post on MMO Bomb are like the favorite child, while people that post only on YouTube are like the child that you had when you forgot the pill. Thanks, Mike. I don't think I was that divisive about people that post on the site versus YouTube. I think I just said the people on the site got priority as far as their comments. They took the time to come to the site. I take the time to put their comments first. But I still put your YouTube comment. I love you, YouTube. Love you. My hair is my business. Shut up. Go ahead, Jason.
Mike, I like your hair.
Thank you, Jason. I like yours too.
Oh, thanks.
Anderson Cooper.
Daniel Oppenlander says, so Tryon just made Rift Prime. It's amazing, and see how many people are in now.
It is remarkably stupid to me how well received Rift having a subscription is right now. Just because I played at launch when it was a sub game for a very long time. It wasn't like a dabble. I played for a very long time, and now it's
was
like
my MMO.
The reviews that I see, Troy, are just like, my God, it's a totally different game. No, it's the game that was.
Although it makes you wonder a little bit like we're talking about with the other stuff. It's like, is it that good, or was their free-to-play that bad?
Yeah, true. Rift was like, we put in a sub because we don't trust ourselves. Go ahead, Troy.
Shadow Wolf, Dub-Bomb, add Kefka to Final Fantasy 14. Now add 4 friends.
Fiends.
Fiends. I'm sorry. I have no idea what's going on in any of these comments.
Oh my God, Troy.
Dude, not a clue.
Why don't you? I'm gonna have to school you. You need to come play Final Fantasy 14. Even Jason plays occasionally.
Oh my
God. He goes on spurts where he plays for like 3 weeks and then he doesn't play for 6 months. And then he comes back and he's like, oh my God, there's so much shit to do. Yeah, because you haven't been here for 7 months. There's obviously a lot to do. Go ahead, Troy.
Now add 4 fiends. One of my favorite 4 fiends is Rubicante.
That's my favorite fiend.
Now there was a boss with style, healing you up after you long slogged to reach him, apologizing to Edge for what Luge did to his parents. I have no idea what is going on.
That is old school Final Fantasy IV.
Jeez.
Rubicante is my favorite as well.
Final Fantasy is the one franchise I have skipped entirely.
That was the name of my raiding group for a long time because we had 4 raiding groups in our guild, and so each group had its own. Was one of the 4 fiends. We were Rubicante.
My guild in 14 is the Glass Carbuncle Company.
All right.
Very strong carbuncle. You should see the guild house, just carbuncles everywhere.
My guild and everything is called Let Blessed Die.
Question of the week last week, is Dota 2's new assistant being behind a subscription pay-to-win? Why or why not? Elusive X Treasure says, for the question of the week, anything that is an advantage that can be obtained via real money is pay-to-win in my opinion, so yes, it's pay-to-win. Also, seems a little scummy. Go ahead, Jason.
Korikon says, my personal definition of pay to win excludes Dota Plus. This doesn't say that I like the idea of it or think that it's a wise move by Valve, but I don't think paying for the immediate information on builds, stats, and tactics is giving anybody an advantage that you couldn't get without paying. In fact, I think this is only going to hurt those players who pay. They are paying to stop thinking and make decisions according to prompts. That is certainly not how you win. As a reminder, too, for people who don't remember, the big deal in the Dota 2 Plus thing is a automated assistant that will tell you how to build in certain situations. That's the point that people are kind of iffy about.
Well, that was the whole question, is Dota's 2 new assistant thing. Go ahead, Troy.
Never mind.
Hadrix Sky Shadow, question of the week. This is long, and I'm sorry. Okay, so how is a guide pay to win? It doesn't affect the gameplay or the in-game stats in the slightest. It's probably good for the noobs, but even then they will probably be completely lost if you let a PC tell you how to play instead of learning. For the veterans, this is completely useless. Yes, this should be available to every single player, but having an AI tell me that as a support, I should support my team, sorry, but I can't see that as pay to win. Yes, there is more to it, but then again, it's only good for players under 100 hours in-game, and I'm saying as a player that has 10K plus hours in-game.
Yeah, and I think that was the argument that most of us made on the show, is that generally this is going to be used by newer players or players with just less experience and will probably fall out of use as they advance through playing the game a little bit. I don't think we were arguing that it was a huge beneficial advantage, but it could be argued that there was an advantage, particularly if you were playing in those lower tiers against other lower tier players, and you paid for it and somebody else didn't. So, Matuz Janicki says, MOBA is a term coined by Riot Games, so of course Valve will refuse to use it when we were talking about that it was a Dota card game, but not a Dota 2 card game. And do you remember this, Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a point on why they probably would not have used the word MOBA and instead used the term Dota to express the genre. Go ahead, Jason.
Nah, whatever. Use and Go sounds like a convenience store. Can you get
Jay and Silent Bob are standing outside.
Can you go to get a 12-pack from the Use and Go? Anyway, question of the week. Dota 2 Assistant for Dota Plus does indeed look like pay-to-win option at first glance, but there have been similar APKs. Did I write that right? I don't know. I'm not sure what that term means. For such a long time that nullifies the initial impact quite a bit. Dota Plus does seemingly offer post-game analytics, and if this is an improved version of what League of Legends has, basically just stat bars, it will have some good impact. Believe me or not, I had a hard time to find out videos about this Dota Plus feature in-game-wise. I can see merits on this for new players, but then experiencing the, oh dear God, that was a bad idea, falls off, and you get feeded with the semi-meta picks and items, so the game loses a lot of its potential, even some of it is really bad choices you have yourself done. I'll give it a 50-50 pay to win and good idea. You know, it's got me thinking though. What I wish there was an Overwatch assistant that basically, when your team needs a healer, it puts in broad strokes like, play a bleeping healer. You don't play another Hanzo, you idiot, or something like that. I'd really like to see that in Overwatch.
Go ahead, Troy.
Blue-Rayon, it's pay for convenience. You can learn all that yourself if you want to put the time and effort into it. It just cuts that time by a lot by just giving you the information. Should be something you have in the game naturally, but I'm sure Valve saw another way to make money like their paid mods. Why give it to you for free when they can just charge you? This isn't new. It was just put in the background because of the loot boxes. When you let pubs get away with charging you for one thing, they're going to try to see how else they can get money from you. And giving you more incentive to buy their sub is just another way of doing it. Won't be surprised to see they put in something else down the road.
Like I said, when you let pubs get away with you for charging you for one thing, they're going to try and see how else they can get money from you. It's not like anything else we talked about today.
There was a wide gamut of answers on this one. I like that there were so many different viewpoints on this one. Breckner Catalan says, for the question of the week, well, in World of Warcraft, there used to be add-ons that would tell you exactly what buttons to press to get the best rotation for some classes. If the assistant is anything like that, telling you that the enemy is missing and such, it's probably pushing towards pay to win. I kind of can't go with you on the example. Again, you're talking, to me at least, you're talking about PvE versus competitive advantage in a PvP environment. And I don't know how well any of those rotation add-ons worked in a PvP environment in World of Warcraft. I think they were generally more PvE rating guides and stuff like that, right? I didn't really use many World of Warcraft add-ons back in my day, so let me know about the PvP add-ons. Question of the week. Let's just put it out there. Did Bless Online make the right business model decision to go buy to play, at least initially? Why or why not? Put your answers in the comments below. Don't forget your weekly bombs while you're there. We got this little handy chart here. Da bomb is something good. An A bomb is something bad, like Blah Breakers. Am I right? So use the handy guide there, supplied by our MMO bombers, Koricon. Until next time, gang, where can everybody find you, Troy?
Twitch.tv/NoobFrizz, not playing Bless Online.
Of course not. Jason.
You'll also find me at twitch.tv/JasonWinter, not playing Bless Online, and also on Twitter @WinterInformal. Although, as soon as we're done with this, though, I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to just eat something.
Yeah. Intermittent fasting. Get that lunch in there. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally on Twitter right there at magicman1. Of course, more importantly, while you're there, follow @MMOBomb so that you get all the tweets for the new free-to-play casts. Great first look videos like Crusaders of whatever the hell that game was. Giveaways, news, and more. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.